Now, I invite His Excellency, Mr. A.Dapkiunas, Vice Minister for Foreign Affairs of Belarus. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, President. Today's meeting is a good time for frank and open exchange of views on prospects for nuclear disarmament against a backdrop of heightened geopolitical antagonisms and a crisis of confidence. Belarus supports all constructive efforts aimed at building a world free of nuclear weapons. We've consistently endeavored to attain this goal in carrying out the NPT. Belarus was one of the first since across the globe to demonstrate an example of conscientious compliance with obligations on nuclear disarmament. We demonstrated our commitment to peace and security. Without any preliminary conditions nor caveats, Belarus renounced its nuclear capacity, the first of former USSR states having joined the NPT as a non-nuclear weapons state. Today, we have to note that the disarmament processes, not just nuclear disarmament ones, but in other areas, have slowed down. We think that decisive steps must be taken to enhance the NPT as well as other global and regional instruments in non-proliferation, security, and stability, ones which should achieve the main strategic goal, that is, full and complete nuclear disarmament. First, there's a need to ensure a swift entry into force of the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. This treaty plays a critically important role in achieving nuclear disarmament. Aware of the significance of this tool, Belarus was one of the very first to ratify it. We call upon states whose actions condition the entry into force of the NPT to take swift action to ensure the treaty enters into force. Now, there's also a need to breathe new life into efforts to create nuclear weapons-free zones. We've still not seen a decision from the NPT Review Conference from 1995 to create a nuclear weapons-free zone in the Middle East implemented. This type of area is also lacking in Europe. During the middle of the 90s, Belarus proposed the creation in Central and Eastern Europe of the creation of such a zone. Unfortunately, our calls went unheeded. Third, we should look at universalizing the treaty on the elimination of mid- and small-range rockets. Doing away with this classification of rockets would be a significant step in creating a world free of nuclear weapons. We think that the key countries of said treaty could become initiators of such efforts. Here, there are no ready-made solutions, but dialogue is still important. This requires political will, leadership, and partnership amongst small as well as large countries. Dialogue on this issue, we think, would serve to rebuild trust amongst countries, as happened in the 80s. A positive effect from progress on the disarmament track would necessarily have a positive effect on other areas of interaction. Effective and long-term decisions in international security and disarmament condition peace, stability, sustainable development, and the very existence of humankind. Thank you.
I thank Vice Minister for Foreign Affairs of Belarus.